Hello students, hope you are well. We are starting new chapter today. The chapter is gravitation. First part of the chapter is Kepler's laws. There are three laws given by Kepler applicable to motion of planets around the sun and motion of satellites around planets. The first law is called law of orbits. I suppose you are knowing different geometrical shapes. One very common shape is ellipse. First law says that planets revolve in elliptical orbit and the sun is located at one of the foci. There are two focus of ellipse and the sun is located at one of the focus. Plural of focus is called foci, so I am using word foci. Sun is located at one of the foci and planets are revolving around the sun in elliptical orbit. Sometimes, because of sake of simplicity, we take these orbits as circular orbits, but the fact is orbits are always elliptical. Second law is law of areas. Today I am explaining a new type of velocity called aerial velocity. Let us understand. Suppose a particle is moving in the direction PQ. A stationary observer is standing at point O. The observer observes particle P. The particle keeps on moving up to point Q. In the meantime, the particle sweeps area delta A with observer. I suppose you are understanding the figure. And time taken is delta T. So delta A upon delta T is called aerial speed. And if this aerial speed is considered in vector form, it is called aerial velocity. So planets are revolving around the sun and the sun is located at a fixed point. So planets are sweeping some area with the sun. Let us suppose planet moves from point P to P1 in time delta T1 and area swept is delta A1. So aerial speed between these 2 points will be delta A1 upon delta T1. Similarly, planet moves from point P3 to P4 in time delta T2 and swept area is delta A2. So for this motion, aerial speed will be delta A2 upon delta T2. Second law says that aerial speed of planet around the sun is a constant. Let us suppose mean distance between planet and the sun is r. I suppose you are understanding mean distance. Suppose it is r1, r2, r3, r4, r5 and so on. So all the distances are added and divided by n, number of observations taken. So that distance is mean distance between planet and the sun. Suppose mean distance is r and the planet takes time t to make one revolution. Then according to third law, that is law of periods, square of time of revolution is directly proportional to cube of mean distance between the planet and the sun. This is all about Kepler's laws. Now next topic is Newton's law of gravitation. It is universal law applicable to every body of the universe, every pair of bodies. Let us suppose two particles or two bodies, you can say, of masses capital M and small m located at distance r. Then Newton's law of gravitation says that these two particles or bodies are attracting each other by a force of attraction. This is called gravitational force, and gravitational force is directly proportional to product of masses of the two bodies and inversely proportional to square of the distance. This law is also called inverse square law. Now joining the two conditions, F proportional to capital M into small m upon r square, and you know that if proportionality is removed, some constant is added. So law becomes F is equal to capital G M into small m upon r square. You may take m1, m2, no problem. I am taking mass of one body capital M, mass of other body small m. G is a constant. It is called universal gravitational constant. Its value is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. See, this value is quite small, 10 to the power minus 11. That is why for ordinary bodies, means bodies we observe in our daily life, gravitational force is hardly experienced because value of G is too small. But in case of planets and other heavenly bodies, masses are very big. Though capital G is small, but because of big masses, capital F, that is gravitational force, is not negligible. In that condition, heavenly bodies or planets or satellites experience gravitational force. For example, if we consider two students, each of mass about 50 kg, sitting at a distance of 1 meter, so if force is calculated using this formula, because of very small value of G, that force will be quite less. That is why the two students are not experiencing gravitational force of each other. It doesn't mean Newton's law of gravitation fails. Newton's law of gravitation is always true. Because of less value of G, it is not experienced in our daily life. But in case of planets or satellites like Moon and Earth, the two masses are quite big. That is why we get a big value of F, that is the force acting between the Moon and the planet, that is Earth. Now let us understand Newton's law of gravitation in vector form. These are two bodies, capital M, small m. Position vector of this R1, position vector of small m R2. Displacement between these two bodies, R1 minus R2 or R2 minus R1. This is displacement of 1 with respect to 2. R2 minus R1 is displacement of 2 with respect to 1. Magnitudes of the two displacements are same, but they are in opposite directions. This body is experiencing gravitational force in this direction, F12, force on 1 due to 2. Similarly, this body is experiencing F21, that is force on 2 due to 1. For capital M, we can write F12 is equal to G M into small m by R. R is magnitude of this displacement. F12 is equal to G M into small m upon R square. Since it is vector equation, so to introduce vector nature, I am writing unit vector of R12. R12 is described here. Similarly, for small m, F21 is equal to G M into small m R square R21. Now add these two equations. The result will be 0, because according to Newton's third law of motion, force applied by one body is equally reacted by the other body. So F12 is equal to minus times F21. That is why this value is 0. The students' new topic is gravity and acceleration due to gravity. You know that Newton's law of gravitation is true for all pairs of bodies situated in the universe. One such body is the Earth, and many other bodies are present on the Earth. So we can make different pairs between Earth and the bodies present on the Earth. Gravitational force acting between body present on the Earth and the Earth is called gravity. So gravity is a special case of gravitational force acting between two bodies when one of the body is the Earth. Let us suppose a body of mass small m, or particle you can say, because bodies present on the Earth are very small with respect to size of the Earth. So these bodies can be considered as particles. So a particle of mass m is present on the Earth. Mass of Earth capital M, radius is capital R. Distances are measured between center to center, that is center of gravity of one body to center of gravity of other body. Since size of this particle is very small with respect to size of the Earth, so distance between the particle and the Earth is equal to radius of the Earth. So this particle is experiencing gravitational force Gmm by R square. I suppose terms you are understanding. Mass of the Earth, small m, mass of the particle or body, R radius of the Earth. You also know that force acting on a body because of gravity of the Earth is called weight. So this force is equal to weight, and weight is equal to mg, where g is acceleration due to gravity. Let us understand. Now it is very clear that the Earth is exerting force of attraction on every body present on the Earth. And by Newton's second law, if force is acting on a body, the body will experience acceleration. Since this acceleration is being produced because of gravity of the Earth, that is why this acceleration is called acceleration due to gravity. So F is equal to mg. Now put this value in equation 1. A small m is cancelled. So acceleration due to gravity, capital G into mass of the Earth upon radius of the Earth square. very clearly mass of body or mass of particle is absent. Therefore, acceleration due to gravity does not depend on mass of the body. In other words, you can say, if different particles or bodies are allowed to fall, if masses of these particles are different, even then all the particles will fall with same acceleration. You can understand by doing one experiment. You take two bodies of different masses, keep at same height and allow them fall freely. You will see that the two bodies reach on the earth at same time because the two bodies are experiencing same acceleration due to gravity. I suppose you are understanding, students. God bless you. Thank you for paying attention.